Hello, my dear. Welcome to the Makaranda Podcast. On today's episode, we are sharing a teaching from the Entrepreneur Hive. The Entrepreneur Hive is a program that my colleague Kelsey Brown and I run together every single week. And this is a space where we are going to share a snippet from our class with you so that you can support your mind, body, soul, and business. Those are the pillars of our conversations. We know how much time you spend taking care of everyone else and running your business, and this is your chance to take care of you, to fill your own cup, and to keep showing up to your life with love and with energy. And we hope that this podcast gives you the inspiration you need to continue showing up as best as you can. Enjoy this episode. And if you would like to become a part of these conversations, you can go to themakarandamethod.com/the-hive. Happy listening. We are so glad that you are here.
As we take care of our body, I like to imagine this being like keeping you healthy for all that you're doing in the world. Like this is a session where you really think about maybe yourself a bit more as the leader, the practitioner, the giver, and what you need, so that when you're out there being the lover and the leader and the teacher, you're tuned in and you're well supported to be able to show up for all of those things. So if you can maybe kind of soften the part of your brain that's what am I getting right now, to be a provider, and see if you can turn up the like, what do I need for my personal just well-being for the next 20-ish minutes. Yeah. And, I think we can just do the breath in our seats today. I'd love to teach it in a way that invites you to do it at any point in your day versus needing to be on your mat or on your cushion. Like you could do it at your desk, you could do it in your car, you could do it, sit down on a walk under a tree, and just reminding you that this practice is available to you at any time. So Eleanor encouraged us to share a bit more on Instagram too, and so you can revisit the two types of breath that we'll be focusing on. But summer is all about heat in the body, and so it's a really great time to work with fire, and fire aids in how we're digesting things. So if we think about the element of fire, it's like it can zap things up, right? It could just like burn things right up. It could also create too much heat so that there's like a sense of residual char, right? And with that comes a lot of maybe dampness if it's mixed with water. So we want to kind of learn how to work with heating and cooling based off of what we need. So this first breath is Kapalabhati breath. You've probably practiced it a bunch, breath of fire. And the yogis use the word Agni for fire. And they say that your digestive tract is only as healthy as how much Agni you have, which is really interesting. So when we think about doing this breath, it's not really meant for the end of your day. It's meant for your mornings. It's meant maybe to do like 30 minutes before a meal that's going to be quite heavy. It's meant to spark energy in the body. You might do it before a big social event, actually, or something. If you're like, "Oh, I'm so down, I'm kind of tired, like, wish I had more energy to go out." So it's really to create a sense of like vibration upward, if we think about it. So let's just start with Kapalabhati, and then we'll do the cooling breath before we all chat, and I'll speak more about that after. Anything else that you want to share, Eleanor, about it?
I think this is simply just a reminder for all of us that we need breath. Without breath, we die. And so when I really appreciate your reminder, Kelsey, of like dropping the like do part of us that's in our creator of our businesses and dropping into how can we allow for this time to be really supportive for us. So thank you for that. And there are breath techniques to help us get through things in our life that are bringing up stuff. It could be anything, it could be a manifestation that we want to call in. We can bring a breath work to it. It can be a grief experience that we have that we can bring our breath to. And so I appreciate the reminder too, Kelsey, of sharing the breath, using this breath to help invigorate and bring energy and blood flow at any time to support our practices. So I'm excited to do it.
Wonderful. Yeah, so we'll plan to do 5 rounds of 30. Let's use the first one as just learning, and then the next 4, I'll invite some intention for what you're working with in terms of using the fire. So this is a closed mouth breath. I'll demonstrate first, and then we'll all do it together. You can be in cross-legged. You can have 2 feet on the ground, and you'll want to bring your awareness to your core, the space just between pubis bone and belly button, especially. And we're thinking about snapping the belly button back to our spine as we exhale. So we want to engage the abdomen. Our mouth will be closed. We'll breathe in fully. Big breath out. Mouth will close. Breathe in halfway. Little sharp exhales begin out the mouth, like
Out the mouth or out the nose?
right out the nose. Yeah,
Okay.
close mouth. That was just a misspeak. Thanks. So mouth is closed when we exhale. Little sharp exhales, and you'll think about like both pumping out the back of the skull. So it might also be called skull shining breath, not just breath of fire. So we're thinking about like shining, like clearing the skull and the belly as we do it. So let's just begin from the deep breath in, audible breath out. Close the mouth, breathe in halfway. Little sharp exhales out the nose. And just learn the breath this time. How does it feel to snap the belly? Counting to 30, it really helps the mind focus on just this breath, just your exhales. If you count, can you feel the exhale on your lip? Can you feel it clearing the mind? Once you've finished your 30, you can open your eyes if they're closed to let us know. You'll take a deep breath in. Audible sigh out. That's important, that release. Releases liver stagnation. Then we'll begin again. So you'll breathe in fully. Audible exhale. Close the mouth, breathe in halfway. 30 sharp exhales. This time, think about what you're transforming, what you're igniting in the mind, a thought pattern. Whatever comes first, let it just be that. Stick with it. Breathe in fully. Audible sigh out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Closed mouth. For the next round, breathe in. Sharp exhales, 30. Thinking about what you're transforming in the body. Bringing the awareness more to the organs, aiding in digestion, sparking that transformation in the skeletal system, the muscles, the tissue, the bones, all the felt physical system, the very explicit parts of you. When you finish, breathe in. Big breath out. Do 2 more rounds of 30 on your own. This next one could be something they're transforming in the soul. Maybe a karmic evolution patterning. Last one. And rest for a couple minutes with the eyes opened or closed. Just feeling the effects of the fire, the heat, giggles, smells. Where do you feel the spark? When you're ready to come back, you can open your eyes. So, one thing I didn't mention that feels important as we move into the cooling breath is Kapalabhati breath is more of a masculine breath as well. It's definitely that strength, right, of the masculine energy, which we all share, right? Not gender specific, really. It's more about the sun and moon. So this is a heating masculine sun breath. Sun is fire. And then when we think about the cooling breath, and we'll just go right into that because we'll cool ourselves down and then be in a space of more conversation. Um, it's called Sitali, and it's it comes from the Sanskrit root sit, which means cool. So, or coldness or cold. Um, and it's often called the hissing breath because we make a hissing sound when we do it, associated with the moon, more feminine energy, more calming, more creative, a lot more inward. And this breath would be practiced at the end of the day when you're feeling really agitated, when you are feeling overheated, maybe angry, frustrated. It's really to move yourself more into parasympathetic nervous system, right? Um, and so the way that we do this one, we did it last week a little bit, right? Was you'll place your tongue just behind your teeth. And the whole breath is in and out through the teeth, like the mouth, which can feel a little weird for like catching your breath. So if you're feeling like you can't find that like top of your exhale, try to just breathe in a little bit longer. Often it's like when you expand just a little higher, you'll find the top of the exhale. So I like to start with a regular breath, like ha, then place the tongue, breathe in all the way to the top, breathe out like all the way to the bottom. You just keep going. Great time to close the eyes once you get the hang of it. As you keep hearing that hissing sound, you might imagine the snake or the moon, something really uh, smooth and stealth and slower, heavier a bit, closer to the ground. For the snake, you can see it just slithering around, really rhythmic. Doing about 5 more inhales and exhales. Water can really cool fire, just shut it down. If you have enough. So bringing this breath to anywhere that feels overheated, any thought, feeling, sensation. And when you finish, you can let your breath return to its neutral, natural state. Bringing your awareness to the space just above your 2 eyebrows, center of the forehead, pineal gland, which connects the right and left, the sun and moon, the feminine and masculine. Seeing if you can send your neutral, natural breath up to that space. And as you exhale, let it drop down into your heart. Remembering that all polarity is mediated by Trinity. So right, left, sun, moon, hot, cold, fire, water by you in the middle. You working with these elements in your body, in the world, to create more balance, more harmony. So feeling yourself in this seat of peace and the middle, the moment. And adding a little movement. To let the body know that you're going to come back together.
Thanks, Kelsey. That was so great.
Interesting from my observation, and I'll be curious what you will share, but it's really hot here and humid. And so I could feel myself just enjoying the cooling Sipkari breath a lot more today. In the heat of summer, feeling like I'm already doing enough fiery stuff out there in the world. So I'm curious what it was all like for you. I kind of saw everybody find a little bit more peace from that breath, but maybe that was just me. So yeah, I would love to hear what it was like for each of you.
I love how simple these breaths are. It doesn't take much to tap in pretty quickly into a different state of presence and awareness just by counting and breathing. And that feels really nice that I could easily do that breath in my car or on a walk, and I noticed that, the breath of fire is quick and sharp, and the cooling breath is long and slow. And that required the long and slow breath. Remind me, Kels, what that one's called? The
Ari.
Takari. That one, I kind of had it took me a second to get the hang of it, like where my tongue was supposed to be. But it felt really great because ultimately it was just inviting my breath to slow down. It's like through a straw almost. You can't go any faster than what the space is available between your tongue and your teeth. So I'm excited to bring that into my practices with my voice students, because we do a lot of breathwork practices too, because that's what the voice requires. Breath. So that's great. Thank you.
Like a Tona teacher says, if you can't do a 60-minute class, do a 5-minute breathing exercise and you'll get the same effects.
Wow. Yeah.
If you really bring attention. So I love that you called out the simplicity and the shortness to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It just dropped me right in. I was like, okay, I'm here now in a different way. There's so many opportunities for me to use that breath, and now I will. Mm-hmm.
I'm really loving the breath work. For me, it's like it dances between what feels safe and what feels unsafe, or like it plays with fear. It's like a container for my being, so it, in the practice of it, you find that line of like this little like death, this part of you that's like, no, you have to breathe. Like you, like we need more oxygen, but you're like, no, we're doing something intentional, and there's a shift there. And so it kind of like, um, almost, it's like a reflex. It allows you to communicate with that part of yourself that's always like reflexively, or the part of myself that's reflexively concerned about my physical well-being, and do I have enough, which is maybe more beyond just physical. Do I have enough? Am I going to be okay? And it brings that voice, it like amplifies that voice so you can actually hear it, but it's happening all day long. But I always find in doing this stuff that it's like a container that I feel, instead of like being unfiltered in the world, and just like that I'm at the world's, um like there's no filter between me and the world. The world can like do whatever it wants with me when I'm not intentionally breathing, or when I'm like outside running and exercising. There's an inner space, I guess, but it's like I'm more um available to the elements, including like the wear and tear. But with breath work, it feels like it somehow brings my whole being inside of this like safe space, like a container. Like a coaching thing can be a container, but like something physical and psychological and psychospiritual.
Mm.
It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I agree. Like the breath somehow connects me to me and my physical being and my spiritual being. Like it just bridges all forms of self. Whereas when I feel like, at least for me, when I'm exercising in terms of maybe lifting weights or something like that, like I'm in my physical being a little more, right? I'm just like, oh yeah, here we go. We're having fun. We're doing things for the body. But the breath, when I'm actually breathing with intention, um, and maybe I should try doing that more when I'm, exercising, bringing a lot more intention to the breath. But this specific type of breath, I feel like it connects me to the ethers, to the heavens, to whatever you believe in, as well as like me here now in form.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for bringing attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
So for the rest of the call, I'm curious, for feedback and how we all want to move through it. But what I was thinking was I could post a reminder of all the things that I shared in terms of, a list of herbs and foods and movement that are recommended for summer. Um, and we can reference that as we each share. But I thought it could be nice to share like where you're at in your body right now. And after that breath practice, what you feel like you need more of. And what could support you right now in terms of your movement, eating, breath practices that you're doing to keep you healthy as a practitioner for your life. How does that feel?
It's great.
Great. That already here.
It's interesting, Kelsey, as you were saying that, I got like two conflicting messages. One that was like, keep sitting still and breathing and being in meditation because it just feels so good. Like, oh my gosh, it's just those 10 minutes that we were in. I was like, no, I don't want to stop. I want to stay here. And then the other side, what is this knowing that like I really need to keep my exercise rolling. I've been very little movement I've gone on some walks and went to a workout class yesterday, but, just feeling like my body wants both. My body wants the heat and my body wants the cool. And so I'm just aware of that. So I'm wondering what I can give to myself to have both, because I can.
Mm-hmm. Totally. One reflection I have too is that like it's naturally hotter out right now. And so it's hard to do like really stimulating exercise. Like like going for runs right now would be kind of ridiculous. Like in 190 to 100-degree heat, it's not really the best time for us to be like going for long runs. It is a better time to do, maybe a workout class or yoga and then focus more on your cooling practices, like you said. Um,
Good point. I was working out way more in the winter.
yeah.
Interesting.
Want to warm yourself up, right? And there's like this sense of kind of stagnation in the winter where we're all sitting around a lot more. We're eating heavier foods. Of course, we need to winter, but like more of the balance that we need for the body is a little bit like if we are going to exercise is fire. And right now, if we are going to exercise, like we have more of a chance of, depletion, becoming dehydrated if we overdo it. So it sounds like your body
That's helpful.
in tune.
Helpful. I also want to bring forward the how do I want to say this? From my experience, when I move through grief and layers of sorrow, my instinct is not to get up and work out. I'm in my bed a little longer. I'm moving a little bit slower. My pace of life slows way down, and I can see how I have slipped into, you know, habits that might not be the healthiest ones, where it might look like skipping meals and eating things that I don't spend time cooking, or not moving my body. And I even see like the parts of me that like gave myself so much space to just be in the grief, that I slipped into some unhealthy habits for a period of time. And I think one of the things that I've noticed in feeling sad, it takes a lot of energy to feel sad. Like the days where we have been crying nonstop, I'm exhausted. My eyes hurt. I don't want to go. I'm like, want to be in a cocoon, and then that is more comfortable than like, I'm going to go hang out in the sunshine. And so I imagine sitting in meditation also where you're accessing your channel, also where you're accessing Mahiko, also where you're accessing prayer and it feels peaceful, is more comfortable than being out in the world and more active. Whereas that might be different for some people, where they're like, I don't want to sit alone with my thoughts. This is too hard for me. I want to distract myself. But I just want to mention, like, I think even though maybe you feel like you need a little bit more movement, I think you've done a really good job at giving yourself the space and the time to not just fill the space. Because that's what I know that I've done that before, where I'm like, I'm going to fill the space with making plans. I'm going to fill the space with TV. I'm going to fill the space with over exercising or whatever it might be. So I think that there is that balance right now of like, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be an intense workout class. Maybe it looks like 20 minutes of stretching. Good point. yeah, I've never been in a season of grief like this before. And I think that's important for us to acknowledge too. Like, what season are you in your life? Not just the season that we're in on the earth, but like what's happening in our world and in our personal, bubbles.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that reflection a lot.
Even that way where you're like, oh my gosh, it just takes so much energy to be sad.
Grief is more of the season of winter, and my sister's going through a lot of grief right now too. And we talked about, like how after crying for 5 hours,
Oh my God.
it feels like you just ran a marathon. Like, I'm like, oh my God, carbs, bread and butter. I need to like replenish like the, coziest parts of me. I really want like just hugs and warmth. And so I do think that it's really important to acknowledge, like, are you even in summer?
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that before.
Love that mug.
John made Sandia, this watermelon juice that is really delicious. That has lime and just cut up watermelon, threw a little honey in the Vitamix, and we grabbed some lemon balm from the garden and made like a huge vat of it. And so we've been drinking that, which has been nice, really. We have a bunch of mangoes that are ripe, so we have to cut those up. We're going to make a mango salsa. Just to try to like go through these foods and things that you're talking about. Zach says, if you want to be happier, wholeheartedly welcome your grief. Yeah. Oh, I am. I am. There is no resistance to it for me at all.
Same.
It's just, yeah, welcoming it is a good way to put it. It feels necessary.
Yeah.
Like a necessary part of the process. But I like that quote a lot. Yeah. And I think we are taking care of ourselves too. And Kathleen's really stepped up and helped us cook. Like when John and I were in the heart of, and Kathleen too, when we were all in the motion of like his death, Mahiko's death, Kathleen was like, I'm gonna cook for y'all. Like I'll help and step into that. I could not do anything. I mean, I felt incapacitated the last week. And I'm just like, literally, all I could do was one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
I had paid ads going. I was like, take them down. No. Like, I just need to just slow way down. I have been working with this funnel management program. I was like, I gotta pause. I mean, literally, so much of my life is like, just be with what is happening right now. Don't rush through it. And I think as business owners, it's important that we listen to that kind of stuff. And not be like, oh, but I have to keep pushing. And it's like, that's how we burn ourselves out. So I think we're doing best we can in this season.
Yeah, and that's a really key thing. I think what you just said is, avoiding what's right in front of you is how we burn ourselves out, not like attuning to, I'm tired, I'm grieving, or maybe you're energetic, and we get into this space of I'm supposed to do X, Y, Z, but actually how I'm feeling today is this way. I'm like, that's the learning, I think, of the breath, of the sitting, allows you to realize how you actually are that day and what you need, at least for me.